bad dog is, Lum, I believe you're right.
I'll see. Hello, Jot 'em down store. This is Lum and Abner.
Let's see what's going on down in Pine Ridge. Well, as we look in on the little community today, we find Abner and Lum at the hotel trying to carry on a conversation with Cedric as intermediary. Listen.
Cedric, tell Mr. Edders I want to speak to him.
Mr. Lum, Mr. Abner wants to speak to you.
Yeah, I heard him. Asked him what he wants.
He wants to know what you want, Mr. Abner.
You tell him that when we divided up the guest here betwixt us that he cheated me.
Tell him I never done no such a thing.
He never done no such a thing.
Tell him he did.
He did.
I didn't.
I didn't. You did. I didn't. Here, you fellas are going to have to do your own fussing. I can't keep up with you. First thing you know, I'll be in an argument with myself.
Well, ask him to explain what he means, saying I cheated.
Cedric, tell him I counted up the guest again, and he beat me out of one. He's got 8, and I ain't got but 7.
He says you've got 8 guests, and he ain't got but 7, Mr. Lum.
I heard him. Asked him what half of 15 is.
What's half of 15, Mr. Abner?
Why, just a minute, let me get a pencil here. Half of 15. I know what I got it figured right, though.
It's 7 1/2's what it is.
Yeah, that's right. You got a half a guess too much.
Tell him I ain't no such a thing.
Tell him he has.
Wait a minute, I can't do that, I tell you.
Well, tell him we've got an odd number. Can't divide up a guest.
I've got just as much right to that extra guest as he has.
Little Gwendolyn was the extra one, and I got her mother and father. We can't move her down here on the first floor away from them.
Tell him he's got to pay me a half of what he collects off of her room, then.
Tell him I won't do no such a thing. She's using one of my rooms, and she's eating in my part of the dining room. My grannies, I've got a right to all the profit.
Well, tell him we'll just see about that.
Tell him it's too late to be hollering about the deal now.
Tell him he's taking advantage of me.
Tell him I never done no such a thing. I started dividing the guests, giving me one and then him one. It just happened that I got the last one.
For goodness sake, what's going on in here?
Oh, howdy, Dick.
Yeah, howdy, Dick.
Never seen you come in.
What's the matter here? What's all this tell him business?
Oh, well, me and Abner ain't speaking to one another. We talked to Cedric, and he passed it on to the other.
Yeah, I wouldn't speak to that varmint Lum for nothing.
Well, you are talking to one another. Cedric's standing out there on the front porch.
He is?
Huh?
Well, I'll be dead, man. He must have walked out on us.
Well, I never noticed it, or I sure wouldn't have said nothing, I'll tell you that. I wouldn't speak to that feller there, Dick, if it was the last thing I ever done in my life.
Well, I wouldn't speak to you neither. I mean, tell him I wouldn't speak to him neither.
Well, now, here, wait a minute. I don't want to get mixed up in this thing.
Come over here, Dick. I want to talk to you.
Yeah, come over here first, Dick. I want to talk to you, too.
Well, can't we all three just sit down here together and
No,
talk?
sir, I don't want to be caught associating with him. Come over here on my side of the lobby. I've got the best chair.
Hey, you better not go over there, Dick. You're getting in bad company, I'll tell you that.
Tell him to shut up, Dick.
Oh, swan to goodness, love. You fellas are worse than a couple of 2-year-olds. I've never seen you acting so childish.
Yeah, he is, ain't he? Awful childish.
You're just as bad as he is, love.
Well, I'm in the right, though. Sit down, Dick. I had to run one of Abner's guests out of that chair there a while ago.
Run him out?
Yeah, that Mr. Wilson, detective. He's one of Abner's guests, and I told him if I ever catched him sitting in one of my chairs again, I'd throw him out.
Well, now, Lum, this is not going to work, dividing up the hotel this way. You run all the guests off.
Grannies, I wished I could run some of Abner's guests off.
Yeah, you start running his guests off, and the first thing you know, he'll start running yours off, and then neither one of you will have any business. And it's a shame, too, Lum. You were doing so well here you had this fuss.
Well, if I can keep him from making any money, I think he'll sell his half pretty cheap. Then I'll have the whole thing to myself.
I don't see why you fellas can't get your troubles patched up and go ahead and run this place like you started out.
No, but I'll never do it, Dick. I don't want to have a thing to do with him.
Oh, man. How'd you finally divide the thing up, Lum?
Well, he taken the rooms on the first floor here, and I taken the upstairs. And each one of us gets just what he takes in on his half.
What about the dining room? You're still operating that together, aren't you?
Oh, no, that's all separate, too.
Separate?
He's got half the tables, and I've got half of them.
Oh,
He's got his cook, and I've got mine. Now, there's another thing, Dick. Now, he's using unfair methods right off the start in the dining room.
What's the matter? What's he doing?
Why, he got his wife, Elizabeth, to do the cooking. And I wish you could have saw the meal she fixed up for dinner today.
She's a good cook.
Oh, my goodness. Chicken and turkey and steak and hot biscuits and gravy and all sorts of vegetables. Pie and cake and preserves and jelly. Well, might not anything you can name. They had it. All for a quarter.
For a quarter?
Yes, sir. You cut the price to a quarter. That's another thing.
Well, he can't serve meals like that for a quarter long.
Why, of course he can. Fact is, I went over there myself and plunked down a quarter and ate with him.
You mean you ate at Abner's table?
Why, sure. I might not have founded myself trying to keep him from making a profit on me. Look at him over there, Dick.
Huh?
He heard me say that.
Oh.
Sticking that head up over that desk puts me in mind of a turtle sticking his head up over a log. Look at that. Wish I had a bean flip.
He don't look a sight wearing that baseball mask and that chest protector there.
Well, he better not never take him off, I'll tell him that. If I ever catch him with that mask off, I'll whop him right on top of the head. Whip him all over the hotel.
Well, Lum, what did the guests think about this dividing up the hotel and moving them around that way?
Oh, they never liked it a bit.
They didn't?
Oh, we had a terrible time getting them two old maids to move.
Oh.
They just might not have balked on us. I think I got the best of the deal. I got them three fellers from Chicago, and, they're awful good about tipping. Have their meals all sent up to them and all.
Yeah. Which one of you is Cedric working for?
Well, we just divided Cedric up, too, along with everything else. We can both use him.
Oh. Well, I don't think this is ever going to work out, Lum. You can't operate two hotels under the same roof. You know that.
Wait a minute, Dick. Abner's talking on the switchboard over there. Be quiet. I want to see what he's saying.
Oh, Abner's got the switchboard over there on his side. Huh?
Yeah, but we can both use it. That's sort of mutual ground there. No man's land. Listen.
Well, I've got rooms down here just as good as 206 is.
206? That's them three fellas from Chicago he's talking to.
Yeah, I know it. Well, what's he charging you for that room? He is? For goodness sakes, that's just highways robberies.
Listen to that.
Yes, sir, I'll make you a room for just half that much.
That's what I've got to put up with.
All three of you for $1.50.
Did you hear that, Dick?
Yes, sir.
Making the weeds. He's called up my guests and cutting the prices. That's the kind of a feller I've got to deal with.
Well, we've got him skinned a mile when it comes to meals. You just ask any of them at dinner at our tables today.
If he keeps on feeding like he did down there today, it's going to ruin my business.
Sure it is.
Some of my guests has already complained.
Yeah, well, you fellas think it over and let me know. Yeah, don't say nothing about the price I made to you to nobody. All right.
Now, Dick, you know yourself that ain't fair. It's the worst kind of cheating. I wish he had that baseball mask off more than ever now. If he starts cutting prices, I grant I can cut them just as low as he does, and lower.
Now, Lum, if you fellas start cutting prices, neither one of you make any money. You've got to have some kind of an understanding now, Lum.
Trouble of it is, Dick, we can't talk to one another to get our understanding.
Well, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll go over and talk to Abner about that, Lum. Make him cut that out.
Yeah, I wished you would, Dick. But don't tell him I told you to. I don't want him to think he's winning.
Oh, no,
Sure not. Give him that satisfaction.
No.
Yeah, come back over here before you leave, Dick.
Yeah, all right, Lum. Yeah, Dick, I allowed you to be over here directly. I knowed it wouldn't take you long to find out all that big bag of wind knowed over there.
Yeah, mind out what you're saying over there now.
Sit down, Dick, sit down.
Yeah, thank you, Abner. Abner, I want to talk to you a minute. Lum was telling me that you've got Elizabeth down here cooking for you now.
Yeah. Doggies, you ought to have seen the meal that we fixed up for him today. Lum's guests is all want to eat at our tables now.
Yeah, I know Lum was telling me about that, Abner. You can't make any money serving meals like that for a quarter, Abner.
I know it. I'm just baiting them, see? Baiting them? Yeah, setting a trap for them. As soon as I get Lum's guests unsatisfied and get them to stay at meal, then I'll cut down on that.
Well, another thing now, we just overheard you talking to those three fellas from Chicago offering to cut prices here.
Oh, did Lum hear that?
Yeah, and you shouldn't do that, Abner. You're just fixing to where both of you fellas going to lose money.
Well, what about him? Sending a lemonade and ice cream up to their rooms. Lemonade them 2 or 3 times.
Well, I didn't know about that. Lum didn't tell me anything about
Well,
that.
come in, sir. Come in. Welcome to Mountain View Inn.
Dick, there comes a customer. Right over this way, right over here. Best hotel in Pine Ridge.
All upstairs rooms, nice, cool, airy rooms.
All downstairs rooms where you don't have to climb the stairs.
Lemonade served all during the day, free of charge.
Home cooking, best fiddles in Pine Ridge.
Room and board, $2 a day.
Room and board $1.50 a day.
Oh, room and board $1 a day.
Room and board $50 50 cents a day.
Granny's room and board.
Well, at least here's one place where the inflation spiral isn't at work. So be sure to join us again on our next regular transcribed visit down in Pine Ridge.